I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.
Yeah. No, you have to tell Diddy no. I love that. I love him. I was going to say though, all his little assistants look like white choir boys. You know, like somebody the law wouldn't mess with.
Isn't it strange though? I don't want to say strange because this whole thing is kind of strange, but does it dawn on anybody that like he's essaying all these people? If we look at these lawsuits, all these lawsuits that were filed, that he just randomly will grab his security and a brand new security guard, throw him in a van, essay him. He'll do it to all kinds of people just on the spur of the moment thing. But we don't hear anything from, let's say, from this guy, for example, that there was ever anything like even remotely in that direction towards him.
Right.
And we probably won't hear that from any of his staff.
Well, you know, they made it sound like he had all those parties and they did all that stuff, and you haven't heard about anything like that. I mean, from anybody.
Right. We got some good stuff coming out now.
Okay, I'll talk to you tonight.
Okay, thanks, Cher. Thanks for coming up.
Night. Bye.
Bye-bye. So this is what Mark was waiting for. You know, he's trying to get his things in. He knows what things he wants to get into, embarrass this guy. So what happened when Diddy caught you smoking? He said, if you're man enough to smoke, you're man enough to tell me. I said, okay, I'm smoking. He said, if I did it again, he'd fire me. How about when you picked up 2 prostitutes and had S with one of them? Objection. Prosecutor jumps up. Objection, 403. Judge overrules their objection. He answers, she asked for $200. I called Bonds and asked, what the hell? She asked to take a shower. I said, that's $200. Everybody's laughing. And then Diddy's lawyer. On that note, no further questions.
Can you guys hear the audio?
They brought up an incident where
if you can hear the audio,
picked up 2 prostitutes and had S with one of them. And he said
what he wanted to tell his wife before.
Right. Oh, and by the way, there's a guy on TikTok, Mike Law. I didn't realize this was like this complete anti-Diddy page. These are people who do not care about the facts. They don't care about the testimony. They don't care about what the charges are. They just want to see Diddy go to prison. And they don't care about any of the stories. They don't care that nobody's actually saying nothing bad about Diddy. No one's accusing him of trafficking anyone. No one's accusing him of racketeering. The people that work for him, yeah, it might have been a toxic work environment, but nothing that's illegal. And none of these people care. It's like this cult thing. That's why I said TikTok Trump screwed up. He should have just let them ban this shit. But I just wanted to play it so we can listen to it, and you can see these different people's opinions live. So if you can't hear the audio, let me know.
Report. So apparently Diddy wanted him to file a report against the chef with the police. What have we asked you to do? Tell the truth. Nothing further. Mr. Agnifilo, anything else? You lied to Mr. Combs about filing the police report. Yes. Nothing further. Just they want to leave him with the jury, leave the jury with, you're a liar, right? You lied to Mr. Combs about that. Yes. No, nothing further. Love it. Then they said, could we have a break? Did these lawyers ask for a break? Rainey, come on up. Laura, Carol, D. Thomas, Nally, Ash, Jojo, Mimi, and Spoiled Dog Shop. Thank you. Hi, Rainey.
Hey, Mike and everyone today. How are y'all feeling?
Great. How about you?
Good. I just want to make a brief statement. If everyone wants to know, Alpine, New Jersey is very popular for celebrities to live at. It's a very affluent area. So a lot of rappers, a lot of celebrities. That's where they tend to move to when they move to New Jersey. So that was just a little FYI if people wondering about Alpine, New Jersey.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
You're welcome, guys.
All right, drop you down, Rainy. Thank
Oh.
you. I think Diddy had a house there, right? Because I remember he might still have a house there, but for sure he did before. Jessan? So I think they're going to be on a break. Let's see. Hi, Jessan.
Could you imagine this guy being your realtor? He he sounds like a funny drunk uncle
Yeah,
making dad jokes all the time.
picking up
He-
prostitutes now, everything. Jesus.
Telling him, okay, I'm smoking. He's definitely been the most entertaining thus far.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
yeah, I just wanted to put that out there that he's a funny guy.
Definitely. Thanks, Jessan.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he is. He's a character. We'll probably get more characters on the stand. Tahiba. I keep tapping, guys. We're 3,500 people in here. Hi,
Hello,
Tahiba.
everyone.
Hello.
Hey, Mike, Cat, and Maz. Hope everyone having a good morning. Yeah, Diddy sound like a cross between Ike Turner, Scarface, El Chapo. I don't think he knew what he had going on.
All right.
The more they say, it do sound like a Rico. But what are they gonna have his doctor up? Cause that's illegal. You do not supposed to be getting a script in someone else's name.
No, that's right. I don't know if they're going to call.
Doctor-
I don't know that they will, but I'm sure they're probably already a long time ago when they first became aware of it. They probably. I'm sure they referred the doctor or whoever investigates them, referred what he was doing to them after any investigation. So he's going to have some problems, whoever these doctors are, for doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I hope they brought one to the stand, like maybe told them that if he don't come and speak against Diddy, because you can go to jail for that. You know,
sure.
doctor jail. So I'm like, yeah, that's totally illegal for you to put it in someone else's name and then just go pick it up. And also, why he seemed like randomly be making his what do you call it, his assistants buy stuff on their personal card for no reason. You know, it's like when it comes to it just don't seem like he had any real rule. It's just like what Puffy wanted at the time. That's what I get.
That's it. The mission, they said, was to make him happy. That's what your job is.
And then you say they worked 20 hours. What was his hours?
20 hours a day.
And so he took 5 minutes to hit blunt and he was mad.
Yeah, if you do that again, you're fired.
Yeah, that's some Ike Turner stuff. Remember Ike Turner movie 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
But you can hit a woman and give her a blunt, and that's all right.
Yeah, but
So
I
let me
can't
catch
smoke
you
on my
smoking
phone.
again, and that's it.
Yeah, I went the last 2 years with him at all. But it sounds like it's a very bad environment for women at all. You know, like that girl that was supposed to be his personal assistant.
Yeah.
AK, yeah, she had to do a lot to hold that position.
I think she needs to get on the stand.
Yeah, I think they have described her as being like his bottom B, if anybody knows. You know, so we'll see. But yeah, I can't wait for more. But yeah, he's very interesting and he's had some very funny one-liners. So
we're gonna hear more from him. We'll hear about him. Either it's gonna be, I don't think they can really talk now unless they've been fully excused. But at the end of the trial, we're definitely gonna hear from that guy again.
All right, Mike, you drop me down. Thank you.
Thanks, Taiba. Thank you. Let me drop you down. Liz, come on up. Hi, Liz.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all right. No worries. I'll drop you down. Thank you for listening, Liz. Ruth, I bring up subscribers first, always, just so you know, for any of the new people.
Just FYI, he's only bringing up older, confused, bitter women. Women who are, even though they've been watching this trial every day, they literally have no concept of what the charges are. And they're just projecting. They're talking about their ex-husband, their old boyfriends, and old Diddy this. Listen, Cassie was a grown-ass woman when they met. She was a grown-ass woman when this is over. The difference between now and 15 years ago is that she hit the wall. Diddy found another young girl, and he moved on, and she was hurt. And this is her way to still get his attention and to still be a part of his life. And also, this is a way for her husband to get some of that money so that he can also continue the lifestyle that they saw Diddy have. You know, now her husband is out of 30 million. When he divorces Cassie later this year, he's going to get half of that. So now Alex Fine will be worth 15 million. Now the reason he had Cassie unnecessarily testify was because her testimony will be used against her in the divorce hearing to prove that she's an unfit mother with a drug problem and a sex addiction. He will be granted full custody per California law. He's going to make out the same way as Kevin Federline and Halle Berry's ex-husbands. And for those 3 kids, he's going to be looking at roughly $30,000 a month. Plus, he's up 15 million. The reason I say 15 million, she got 20 from Bad Boy and 10 from the Intercontinental Hotel because the security guard withheld that footage of Diddy kicking her with socks on. You know, people, when I first saw that video, I thought it was horrible. And then I rewatched it. Okay, he pulled her by her hoodie and he kicked her in the butt with a sock on his foot. So it's not like he was wearing some steel toe butter Timberlands and you know, and just whooping on her with boots. Kicked her with his foot. Domestic violence always looks bad, but it's just, it's not him trying to like unalive her or do nothing to her so horrible. It wasn't, you know, it's just people that are drunk and high fighting. Domestic violence is a big deal. Fortunately, he's not charged for domestic violence. He's not charged with drugs. He's not charged with guns. Talking about he had a gun on him and he saw Suge Knight 20 years ago. What fucking difference does that make? Who cares? 2011? I don't even know if I was living in the United States in 2011. I can't remember back to 2011. How are these people so vivid? They're high and they're drunk. How do they remember all these little details? That's why everybody's getting destroyed on the stand. Danity Kane and all these other people, because they all want compensation. And his lawyer yesterday said, so you mean they want money? And she says, no, we want compensation. And the lawyer's like, bitch, that's money. And she said, yes. All of this is because they're hoping to figure out how they can pull or extract some resources from Diddy. It's not looking good. None of this is sex trafficking. None of this is racketeering. Pretending that he used the money from selling Cassie's vagina to fund his record empire. He's already a billionaire. That's why Myron Gaines said the FBI screwed up when they confiscated the money in his room. $9,000. He's a fucking billionaire. Obviously, that money is not drug money. That obviously that money is not the proceeds from him selling Cassie or selling some other underage kid. All these lies. And, you know, I used to believe all this stuff. I thought he was a gay pedophile. Listening to the trial, the woman who told everything never once mentioned him having gay sex or dealing with kids. If he was doing any of those things, she would have said so. She didn't. He didn't. So just keep that in mind. We'll go back to listen to these psychos ramble on TikTok.
Which makes this even so much more better. So that's all I wanted to say.
Awesome. Thanks, Tracy. Thanks for saying that. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And plus, I'm on video on Saturday afternoons, every Saturday for sub only. We're on video. The mods are usually on video. So we're on a break right now. Classic Brown, what up, though?
Top of the AM, Mike. What up, though, mods, and hello, chat. I'm not a early morning person, bro. I'm just waking up, sipping my coffee. So who has been on the stand so far this morning? Because
I guess he's done. He just finished. It was Diddy's former assistant, David James, from 2007 to 2009. He yesterday he talked a little bit about the fact that he heard Diddy say things like, "I got Cassie right where I want her. She's moldable."
Right.
And those kind of things. And today he just continued. They talked about this Suge Knight incident where they saw Suge Knight at some Mel's Diner in LA.
I know the place.
Him and Diddy security. They went to go pick up Diddy. Diddy came out with 3 weapons, 3 pew-pews on his lap. And this guy's driving him to go back there, but Suge was gone already.
Okay, so the sex worker haven't been on the stand yet.
The Punisher should be next, either the Punisher or Cassie's mom.
Oh, okay. All right. Thanks for the update, Mike. I'm just now getting my coffee, getting up and trying to get my brain together, brother. But appreciate everything that you do, because ain't no way in the world I'm getting up at no 6 in the morning, brother. That's out the window. That is out. So yeah, man, I appreciate what you do, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm grateful to have you, brother.
Thanks, man. Appreciate
and the mods, because I know the mods be there too, and the people in the chat. You know, I ain't trying to leave nobody out. It's a teamwork participation thing. So
absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, man. We'll talk to you later on, Classic.
All right.
All right.
Classic, it's good to see you.
Let me see. Yvette. So they're on a break. We're waiting for it to finish, and then they'll go to lunch in probably 45 minutes to an hour.
She's like Wilma and Betty on the Flintstones. Charge it!
All right. New mommy to be. I don't know if he's the well-endowed man. They said that's what what's his name was talking about. I don't know if it's the same escort. New mommy's not coming up.
And you know what? Let's, since they want to bring up these escorts, what was the purpose of showing the face of these men? Because when you think trafficking, you're thinking kids and women against their will, beating them, tying them up, and then men just walking into a room and brutalizing them like in the movie Taken. But that's not the case. I know one of the guys, the guy with the hat on, I know him from Long Beach. We used to hoop together. So my boy, and I'm watching these videos, and I remember being at the gym with this dude, right? Probably years ago. And he was telling me and the homies and I was smashing Cassie, the singer. And Diddy was, Diddy was in the other room and he was watching, and then he left. And we laughing at this nigga, bro, the dude, we was like, it just lies. He lies a lot. He's probably, but we never knew him to lie about nothing, but we were like, there's no way that's true. And then they put out a picture of all these people. What was a quick question? Why would you show grown ass men in a case for racketeering and sex trafficking? Why do we need to see their pictures? What does that have to do with anything? What does it matter what these men look like? Are you trying to say that Diddy was their pimp? Is that what you're trying to accuse Diddy of? Pimping these men out and using that money to buy blank music CDs? And then he printed music and he was selling them out of the trunk of his car. And that's the origin story of Bad Boy Records? Yeah, I don't think so. That's another weird thing I wanted to bring up. Why even show that? I mean, so what? He paid some guys to come over there. You can pay. The thing is this. You can pay for somebody's time. The sex was free. The sex was on the house. The time is what you're paying for. You're not paying for sex. So if these guys are there and they get to smash a beautiful girl and they're being compensated for their time, that's not illegal. That's not against the crime, but that's not trafficking Cassie. She's literally the one who found all these guys and called them. Diddy and her are partners. He's literally putting together these freak-offs for her because he's thinking that if he gives her enough sex, she won't have to go behind his back and cheat on him. Diddy, bro, I mean, now I'm starting to hear these stories and I'm like, I feel his pain. You guys don't know what it's like when you're afraid to lose your wife or lose your girlfriend to another man, and you'll do whatever to keep her. But especially because for men, it's a lot of it is competition with each other. You lose the competition if you lose your woman. The way you judge the value of a man is not by how much money he has, but it's by how many women he has. The best looking woman is the ultimate currency. If you meet a man that works at McDonald's, but he's dating the most beautiful woman you've ever seen, you're going to be like, wow, he's doing pretty good in life. But if you meet a billionaire and he has like a fat ogre looking wife, and you'll be like, man, that's good. Life is rough for him. You're not, because that's how you know a man's value is based on his woman and the type of women he can keep and he can attract. That's how you know. When you look at a woman like Cassie and she's publicly attached to Diddy, he doesn't want her to embarrass him by going around. And guess what? He could have 10 dudes with 15-inch penises smashing the hell out of Cassie on a Monday. By Tuesday, bro, she's still texting other men to go cheat. In his mind, he's like, how much dick do you need? What will it take to make you happy? The problem is just like the question that women have for men, like, wait a minute, I do this and this for you. Am I not enough? Men go through that too. Diddy's probably like, am I not enough? I put everything together for you. You don't have to go behind my back and lie to me and cheat and go sneak with my industry friends. If this is about just sex because you have a high sex drive, I'll bring the sex for you. You don't got to cheat. Just like when women are like, I'll bring a threesome for you. Let me bring home a woman for my man. And if you find out that he's still lying and cheating, it makes it even worse. It hurts even more. So imagine when you're a man going through that. That's what people aren't realizing. Men and women are equal. You guys tell everybody every day that men and women are equal. If men and women are equal, then treat them like equals. Imagine Cassie is a man with an addiction for sex. It's the same thing as if a man had an addiction for sex and you guys would not give him any grace or say, oh, it's okay. I feel your pain. You're just trying to be happy. You can't be an innocent woman who's a dumb that can't think for herself, but then you're also smart, accomplished, and strong at the same. You can't have it both ways. You're gonna have to pick one. So let's get back to this incoherent rambling from all these feminist psychos on TikTok.
3. No. All right. Put a 3 in the chat if you're trying to come up so I can pick your name easier. Go, Fano, go.
I would put 3 and go up there, but for what? These people hate Diddy. As soon as I say, well, Diddy's looking pretty good in this trial, they're going to kick me and ban me and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to listen.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I've had a busy morning, so I've been on and off. But I just wanted to say this. I don't know how the mind of an abused woman works. And I don't obviously know Cassie or Diddy or, any of these people.
Right.
But I have known abused women. And there's one particular woman that I'm thinking of right now. And she has been punched, insulted, mistreated, lost all of her money, and right now her husband has left the country and he's on a visit with his family. And this has been going on now for 30 years. All she does is complain and talk about him to everybody, to her friends, to family, and everybody's very sick of it. Like, I can't listen to it anymore. Because if you say one bad word about him, no matter what he's done to her, she takes his part. And then you're on the shit list. Excuse my
Right.
So and now she's trying to get in touch with him and he's not even returning her calls. But he'll call her at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and she picks the phone up to him.
Yeah.
So at what point, and I don't know the whole story with Cassie, but and she has his last name. At what point do you say to her, okay, You must like this because you're putting up with it. And I'll tell you, she's got nothing going on in her life. She is like so codependent with him that nobody can stand listening to it anymore.
Wow. Yep.
So
That's a
I
bad
don't know.
situation.
I don't understand it. And she's not the only abused woman that I've seen in my life and that I've known in my life. So I just don't get it. Like, I don't get it. I
Yeah.
really don't. And you know what's sad? Everyone in her path, even her children, are all in the fallout of this because she complains to them about him and she brings sorrow into their life.
Yeah.
Like, you follow what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. It's horrible. It's horrible. We see this time and time again in our society, and it's tough. But Diva, we have Cassie's mom is on the stand now. We have a couple
Okay,
new feet that
okay,
came
Mike.
up.
Thanks for letting me come up.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay.
Diva. Let me
Bye.
drop you down. Bye-bye. Bummer lady, hold on a second. So the government calls Regina Ventura to the stand. Where do you live? New London, Connecticut. How many children do you have? 2, Roderick and Cassandra. Who is this? Sean Combs. He dated my daughter. Probably says it with disgust in her voice. All right, that was the last tweet. Cassie's mom is on the stand right now. Bummer old lady, can you unmute yourself? Hi.
Mike, I just want to say you're doing a really good job. If you can hear
Thank
me.
you. Thank you.
I listen to you daily. Actually, been married 3 times, so I've been through a couple different divorces, like situations that she's been through. And now I'm a social worker, and women don't like to talk about this kind of thing, but I think
Cassie was never married to Diddy. Lady, you've been married 3 fucking times. You cannot compare your history of fuck ups to this woman who was just casually dating a billionaire. Also, they want to bring up that Cassie's mom is now on trial testifying. They're saying that 15 years ago, Diddy told her that your daughter was caught cheating on me. I've spent a lot of money on your daughter and she's cheating on me. You guys should send me some of my money back. And anyway, Cassie's mom wired Diddy $20,000. And that's pretty much every man who's ever been cheated on's dream. Because you know what? If I've invested in you and I've met your parents and I'm representing you and I take care of you and you're going behind my back to cheat on me, I want a motherfucking refund. I want my money back. So anyway, the mom sent him $20,000. And you know what he did a few days later? He sent the money back. You know, the thing is, this dude is emotional, but he's hurt. You know, this shit's embarrassing, bro. You ever had a woman cheat on you? You think women and men cheating are different. A man cheats on a woman, that's bad, but it's nothing compared to when a woman cheats on a man. But let's finish listening to this these crazy people.
means something. That means nobody would better effing touch you.
There you go. Awesome. Good stuff.
All right,
Thanks for coming up. All right. What was Cassie telling her mom in 2011? All right, waiting for the next tweet to come out. Angela.
Angela Ventura is Cassie's mom, and she's on the stand. Again, she said she wired Diddy $20,000 because Diddy wanted a refund for all the money he's been spending on Cassie when he found out she was cheating on him with Kid Cudi. This is 16-year-old events, and the mom wants to pretend she's a victim because she sent him $20,000. And guess what he did? He sent the money back to her. And you know what? Even after the whole, they're saying he blew up Kid Cudi car. I'm sure Diddy wasn't out there with a blowtorch and a fucking gas can, right? But Cassie loved it. Women love seeing their man go crazy. They love seeing men act out of character. And she stayed with him another, 9 years until she got too old. And he was like, the next guy that takes you can keep you. And she was mad that when she got with Alex Fine, he didn't threaten Alex Fine. He didn't do nothing to Alex Fine because he's like, why would I fight over a 40-year-old woman? You can have her now. She's aged out. And that's what really hurt her. And that's what set this off. And when Alex wanted to set Diddy up and get this money from him, Cassie didn't object because she wanted attention from Diddy, which she's getting right now. But once Diddy's out and this is over, I'm sure he will never speak to Cassie again. He shouldn't. For one thing, why would you talk to an old lady? Obviously, these old women are mentally ill. Listen to now. These are all old ladies that they were bringing up on this guy Mike Love's TikTok. So let's listen to how crazy these old women are. Because when you're old and you're bitter and you can't even attract men with money or younger men or men with resources, it hurts because now everything you've been told your whole life, how you're beautiful and you're sexy and people want you, it's over now. But you're still alive. And that's what these women are dealing with. So they're just projecting on the Cassie. And it's funny because in the court of law, it's not going to matter. I don't even think the jury's going to be emotional enough to say, well, it's kind of trafficking and it's kind of prostitution, even though they're all men and everybody's grown. There's no kids. What happened to the gay stuff? He's not even He's not even doing anal on any of these guys. I mean, well, where's the when does the gay stuff come in? Because that's why all these people are watching these videos. They want to hear him. They want to hear the nasty sex lives of the rich and famous. They want to hear that Diddy's out here banging dudes and pouring baby oil up their bum holes and fisting men. No, he just had a girlfriend that was a freak that he didn't want cheating on him. So he would constantly find men for her to have sex with so that she wouldn't have to go find them and go behind his back. Same thing women do with men that they're married to. If they know he likes women and she doesn't want him to cheat, she might bring home a woman. But guess what? The man's still going to cheat. And guess what, Diddy? Cassie still was going to cheat, and she still cheated. She cheated on every man she's ever been with, including her husband she's with now. He should get a DNA test on them kids to make sure they're even his. But Alex Fine is going to divorce her later this year, and he will be with a beautiful young blonde in 2026 because his financial situation will be better. Those kids are going to net him about $30,000 a month, full custody, because of Cassie's testimony, basically burying herself in divorce court. She will be paying alimony and child support because she's an unfit mother. She's a drug addict with a sex problem. Alex Fine will get full custody, and that money right there will change his life. He will be with a beautiful little blonde woman soon enough. Alex, you did good. Everybody should have saw this coming a mile away. An ex-employee with an axe to grind set him up. It happens every day.
Hi, Elvis. Elvis Presley. Don't worry about it. Bezos.
Appears to be
all right, so Cassie's mom's on the stand. She's talking about her daughter writing her saying that Diddy's going to release an S tape of her. And she talks about Diddy demanding $20,000 from her to recoup his losses.
Yeah, his losses from what? His losses from your fucking daughter cheating on him. Yeah, I want my chips with dip.
But I'll jump over there in a second.
I respect Diddy even more. Sometimes when you have money, people think they can just steal from you and do you dirty, and they'll say, oh, well, he doesn't need it. He's rich. Nah, bro. And honestly, Diddy told Cassie, I want my money back from Alex Fine too. I paid him to train you, not to smash you and run train on you. I paid him to train you. I want my money back. I respect Diddy even more now, knowing he was not just some simp that let people run over him. I appreciate and respect that.
Behavior when she got into the relationship with Diddy versus ongoing and with Diddy, whether she's coerced. It speaks to her real state of mind, because the issue of coercion is a big battleground in this case. You either were a freak and you did this and you knew what you were doing, or you did it because he forced you to do it, so to speak. Prosecutors have said Diddy ran a criminal racketeering enterprise. Combs has pleaded not guilty. Okay. Jackson, who's Jackson? Jackson also said Cassie's mother could testify if her daughter ever shared her feelings with her after the incidents as recent outcry witness. That's admissible evidence. It's not hearsay. And it goes to the critical issue of whether she was consenting. From a defense perspective, it's a nightmare to cross-examine a mother. Prosecutors have also said that Cassie's mom can testify that in December 2011, Diddy demanded $20,000 from her that he spent on her daughter after he learned she was romantically involved with Kid Cudi. Cassie's mom took out a loan and wired the money to Diddy. The money was then wired back to her without explanation days later.
See, that's Diddy being too nice and generous. Why'd you give the money back? Matter of fact, she should have got the money back from Kid Cudi, since he's the one now cheating and having sex with my then girlfriend. Kid Cudi should have gave the mom back the money, not Diddy. But this is Diddy just being a good guy with a soft heart. I mean, I feel bad for Diddy, bro. Like, all this to be dumped on him, and he can't even really properly defend himself until now. We've all been believing that he was just some gay pedophile for the past, good several years. And now the woman who was right there with him 24/7 for over 10 years has never said one thing about him actually being gay or a pedophile. Because if he was, she would have already mentioned it by now.
Talk about that. And the judge said you can object when it comes out, and then I'll make my decision then based on how the testimony is going. But they didn't object at all. Why did you take a loan to pay Diddy? For the safety of my daughter. She should have also said, because we didn't have the money. That's an incredible amount of money to people like us.
How do you know? You don't know her mom's financial situation. You don't know if that's an incredible amount of money. And think about how much money Diddy's already been giving Cassie before that. He spent, you know how much money Diddy had spent on Cassie at this point? And he was managing her record deal. So she has plenty of money. These aren't poor people. Let's not lie.
Denver Joseph, come on up. Let me say thanks to Sherry, Kristen, Bernie, Laura, Maria, Royalty, Jojo, and Coach Carolina.
This is Green Acre Morning.
Denver Joseph, hi.
I'm like a conflict inside the mall. I got big conflict.
Right. He's a little bit busy right now. Tahiba. I don't expect Cassie's mom to stay on the stand long at all. And I don't expect the cross-examination to be tough at all.
These are all going to be older, unattractive women who have lost all their youth and their agency. And now they're talking about a rich man who got rid of a woman who lost her youth and her agency. And they want him to go to prison for that. Not because he assaulted her. Because think about it, he's not on trial for assault. He's on trial for trafficking and racketeering. They keep bringing up domestic violence. Are you guys like mentally handicapped? Are you not understanding the charges? He's not charged with domestic violence. He's not charged with guns. He's not charged with drugs. He's charged with sex trafficking and racketeering. Do you understand what those definitions are? Do you understand what those designations are? That is not what you guys keep bringing up. They're bringing up everything but that. And at the end of the day, when the jury's instructed to go in that room and make a decision, I don't care how Cassie was with them every day. No other witness can come in here and say, actually, Cassie doesn't know this, but he was trafficking her. I know this because this, and he was racketeering. No one's going to be able to prove that because nobody can corroborate it and substantiate it. Cassie was the number one star witness. They brought her up first. There's no witness that can come in here and say, well, actually, Cassie had a twin sister and he was cloning her and he was trafficking her to men at the house. It's all bullshit. So it's not going to happen. So you're going to have to make your decision based on the facts, not your emotions, and not of how many men don't want you anymore. And now you're pretending that Diddy is basically all these other men abused you because they don't want you. Diddy moved on with his life. He had Carisha. He wasn't tripping about Cassie no more. He smashed her a couple of times. And guess what Cassie did? She even answered the phone while she was having sex with Diddy when her husband, Alex Fine, called. And Alex Fine still married her 4 months later. Not because he loved her. He married her because she has a billionaire ex-boyfriend, and he knew the money was pending. He knew this settlement was going to come. He knew the lawsuits were coming. Alex Fine is a white man. White men are historically a lot smarter than you emotional ethnics. You emotional urban types don't understand the long game. We are men. Men have to have forward thinking. Alex Fine was making plans for 10 years ago, 5 years ago, and he did what he had to do. He had to kiss a toilet for 6 years. But if that's what it takes to become a millionaire in America, then so fucking be it.
And $20,000 doesn't hurt me, doesn't affect me, but I know how much it is to your family, to your parents. And the fact that he even brings the parents into this story, you know, like you owe me.
Well, he met the parents. The parents should have been the ones guiding their daughter to be a better woman, to not cheat, to not lie, to be respectful, to take care of the home. Because as a black person, when you see other people from other races and their families are still together, you think it's because the parents mold their children and they are just, no. The difference is that their parents are not necessarily from the United States. Being over here will turn your kids into different people. A lot of them will be gay or they'll be so Americanized, they're not going to hold your traditional values. And Diddy was surprised about that. He thought that Cassie would be like her mom and still be loyal to her dad. But Cassie's mom, Angela Ventura, she has a history too. We'll bring that up shortly.
I asked her why she was laughing. She stopped and looked plain. Now to August 2016. We're done with the binder with the photos. See how the government just throws that little thing in there? And now they're move on to something else? Do you know Mia? She was an employee of Diddy's. What happened? We were in his kitchen laughing. Diddy asked her why she was laughing. She stopped and looked plain. And now, okay, now to August 2016. They're just trying to put those little things. That's what these lawyers are doing on both sides.
Look at this. He paid Young Miami, but he never paid Cassie. That's so bad. Paid her for what? Being his girlfriend? Bro, you guys want to be prostitutes so bad. You guys want to be 304s so bad. You want a man to pay you for sex and your time. You want men to pay you to have children. You guys want to be 304s so bad. And that's not the real world. You guys are supposed to be doing these things out of love, not out of because you're looking to come up off of a man or you want to get in his pockets and sue him. I keep telling people in America, the marriage rates and the childbirth rates are going to continue to crash because women are looking for three things in this country. Well, they're looking for one thing in this country, and that's for a man to sue. They're going to either sue you for alimony, sue you for child support, or they're going to accuse you of abuse and sue you. None of this is about love anymore. And that's why men are just leaving the country and going to find wives elsewhere. If you want to stay over here and end up like Diddy on trial, even as imagine poor men that end up in Diddy's situation when women lie on them for breaking them up with them and they make up a story of abuse and these men go down. You know, matter of fact, there was an Indian guy who just got out of jail. Even though they had the footage from Walmart, a woman accused him of trying to kidnap her kid because the kid fell out of a moving buggy, a moving shopping cart, and he caught the kid so the kid would hit his head. The woman then, irate, accused him of kidnapping, trying to kidnap the child. It's on video in Walmart, and it took a month to get the man out of jail. Yeah, this country is cooked. There is no way to save this kind of culture when it's everything's enabled against men, and men are the ones who make the world go round. We're just detaching from the women and we're leaving, and the marriage and birth rates are going to continue to collapse until this type of behavior where women can just sue you for anything is no longer enabled.
Yeah.
He was followed by the two boys.
Yeah, I don't think that's true.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I wouldn't believe that.
Okay. Thank you, my dear.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, I'm calling from SA. I'm a
South
South
Africa.
African. So
Awesome.
I enjoy your show very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, my dear.
Okay, let me drop you down.
Thanks.
Here's another tweet. While in Los Angeles, did you call the police? Yeah. Sean Combs stole Cassandra's phone. They had a bitter argument outside her apartment building. She lived on the 17th floor. They argued at the roundabout.
Your daughter is a fucking cheater. She's lying and cheating to him. What do you think people do when you get caught cheating? People fight. People will go through each other's phones and take phones. And guess what? Diddy probably bought the damn phone. It was probably on Diddy's phone plan. Okay, so, and you called the police on, you guys been trying to figure out how to line Diddy up all this time. You did not call the police when her boyfriend who bought her a phone takes the phone because they're arguing about her cheating. Relax.
If she wasn't back already, made her come back. I'll give the money back if you come back, you know? Or I'm going to ask them for more money. Or I just found out that you cost me more than 20,000, so I'm going to ask them to send me another 20. So let me back up. Did you call the police in LA? Yes. Diddy stole Cassie's phone. They had a bitter argument outside her apartment building. She lived on the 17th floor. They argued at the roundabout. Who else was there? D-Rock. Is Damian Butler his government name? He was standing between us. I tried to hit him. Sean took Cassie's car, a Jaguar.
So you're admitting to assaulting someone or attempting to assault someone? Okay. Let's see if she gets charged.
Examination. Very, very smart move. It could only have backfired. You rarely see defense attorneys not cross-examine a witness. But that's exactly what they just did. That must mean the Punisher might be on the way up. They're going to start the Punisher before lunch, send the jurors back to eat lunch after the Punisher already starts his testimony. Let's see. Very good. Who else was there? D-Rock. Is Damian Butler his government name? He was standing between us. I tried to hit him. Diddy took Cassandra's car, a Jaguar. No further questions. Cross-examination? Nope. No questions. You're not drawing us out like that.
Do me a favor. If you're watching this on X or YouTube, follow me on those pages. I'm actually trying to get my followers up. They're low. I'll keep the video going. We'll keep the commentary going. Please follow the page. It's not going to hurt. Just quick follow. You don't have to really like the video. Just follow the page so you can keep up to date with everything that's going on.
Sometimes I can't tell what actually was said and then like some commentary and stuff. But did Cassie's mom show or talk about the bruises, or were you just saying something about the bruises on the pictures of Cassie with the bruises?
Prosecutor said, look at the binder next to you. Cassie's mom says, these are photos I took of my daughter's bruises from Sean Combs. And that was...
Is this a domestic violence trial or is this a sex trafficking trial? Is this a domestic violence and beating and bruising trial, or is this a racketeering, sex trafficking, and prostitution transportation trial? Your daughter getting her ass kicked by a boyfriend who she's fighting with all the time. She's kicking his ass high on drugs. He's kicking her ass high on drugs. They're toxic. Where does the sex trafficking and the racketeering come in? That's what we need to know.
Thoroughly, it's just like, well, how, it would be interesting to know how she could be certain that those were from Diddy, but I guess, I don't know, I guess maybe that's calling her a liar, but I was like ready when you said that they would just like really jump up, and that would be, it kind of, I'm just playing devil's advocate, but that kind of would be a legitimate question, right?
Sure. I think they
don't like women that are not following the cult. They're going to kick her off the stage.
that these photos are being introduced as evidence, and they could
They're going to kick her off the stage. They don't like women that think for themselves.
not now in front of the jury. So I think they've stipulated or they've agreed that this is probably, and they're not shying away from Diddy assaulting Cassie multiple times. They don't seem to be challenging that any of those things happen, whether it's a.
Why should they? This is not a domestic violence charge. This is trafficking. Y'all can say he was kicking her ass every single night. It wouldn't matter. He's not charged with that. 15-year-old domestic violence claims that have expired the statute of limitation do not matter. This is not that type of case. What the fuck? What is wrong with everybody? Why do I got to be the voice of reason? I got to put on a MAGA hat and I got to literally come talk to people about reality. I have to come and literally reconnect people to reality. Why do I have to? You're an adult. Why don't you already know this? He's not charged with any of that. Maybe I should put the charges like in the top corner right here so I can remind everybody what he's being charged with.
I see where Parrot Mom is questioning that because Kathy's mom did not actually witness the fight or how she got those bruises.
Sure, and it's a legitimate argument. If it was Carrie Morgan who took the photos, they would probably make that argument. But I think they strategically chose, especially since they didn't even ask her one question, they strategically chose, as long as she doesn't go too far, we're not going to object, we're not going to cross-examine her.
Yeah, the other thing, and again, I was trying to think back to when like cell phones became popular and things. There was one point where you said that Cassie had written her mother a letter. Was that something that I remember hearing?
She sent her an email or a text, and then she read it. The mother read it, which was Diddy's threatening to release an S tape of me.
Oh, I thought you said something about that Cassie had sent her a letter. And I'm like, why would she write her a letter? I mean, that's not pre-cell phone days or, so it was an email.
Yeah, I'm just going to see. Read this message from December 2011. That's what they said.
Oh, okay.
And she said, Cassandra wrote me. She said, Sean Combs threatened to release an S tape and go after her and Kid Cudi.
Oh, maybe I heard the word wrote. And so I was thinking that, but again,
yeah,
people.
I think it's a text.
Yeah. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Okay. Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, Paramount. Let me drop you down and refresh. I'm trying to see if the Punisher, who's going to be the next witness, or are they going to take an early lunch break? Let's see. New witness. The government calls Mr. Sheree Hayes. The Punisher is on the stand. Where are you from, Sheree? Harlem, New York. What was your work? Male exotic dancer. I was known as the Punisher. Why do I like this so much?
You like this because you're gay. That's why you like this. You want to hear that the Punisher came in there and wore Diddy's ass out. You're not going to hear that. You're going to hear that Cassie recruited him from a website. He came over. Diddy was flaccid the entire time because Diddy's not gay. You were there because Cassie gets high like sex, and he didn't want Cassie to get high and go screw one of his friends or some other man behind his back. So he hired you to come in and punish Cassie. However, there was no amount of punishment penally you can put on Cassie that would stop her from cheating. She's a cheater.
Mexi erotic scene for them. Put an S in front of that. I was hired in 2012 to create a Essie erotic scene for them. And they.
Ladies and gentlemen, 2012 is 13 goddamn years ago. 13. Keep that in mind. Way outside the statute of limitations. This isn't rape. This is sex trafficking and racketeering, okay?
Of the two of them together, they both seem to be smiling happy. So, all right, that was the last one. Let me just recap. Government calls Mr. Sheree Hayes. Where are you from? Harlem, New York. What was your work? He appears to still be doing this, according to Instagram. What was your work? Male exotic dancer. I was known as the Punisher. Do you recognize these two? They show him a photo. I do. Diddy and Cassie. I was hired in 2012 to create an erotic scene for them. So what is he going to have to bring for the prosecutor? Let's see. What could he bring? Let's see if he's going to talk about Cassie being maybe not consent. I don't know. Because if any of these escorts ever say, I could tell she didn't want to, then you're admitting to SA yourself at that moment.
What do you mean she didn't want to?
Sure.
She hired them. She asked them to urinate in her mouth. Diddy didn't tell her to do that. She asked to do that. Why do you guys want to pretend that women are 3 years old and can't decide what they want to do for themselves? If this is the case, then why are women allowed to vote? If women are not smart enough to decide who they want to bust it open for, who they want to have sex with, if women can't be trusted to decide who and what they want to sleep with, why are they allowed to vote? Why are they allowed to make decisions and run for politics? And is that why they vote for men to be in women's sports? Is that why they vote to have abortion up to 10 days after birth? Is this why our forefathers did not give women rights? Because what are they going to do with them? Women are inherently children who are infantile mentally, and they can't be trusted to make their own decisions. If that's what we're saying here, then everything you're saying makes sense. But if Cass is a grown-ass woman who's a smart, strong individual person, then what you're trying to demean her and say she can't decide for herself doesn't make any sense. So you can't have it both ways. We're going to have to make that choice eventually. We can't let it go that way. Either women can decide for themselves what they want to do with their bodies. It's her body, her choice, or it's not. But it can't be both ways.
The nipple stuff that Diddy wanted too.
Oh man, this is wild, man. Come on, you got to at least have one in there, like at least one, dude.
Cassie testified that there were probably 2 occasions where they did it with a female.
Wow.
Talking about it.
Oh wait, another woman only 2 times in what, over 10 years? Yeah, he was doing everything to make Cassie happy. It wasn't even about him.
On West 4th Street, a woman who Trump Tower, Central Park West, striptease for a small group of friends. All right, we're getting into the Punisher. All right, Classic, I'm gonna drop you down.
All right.
I was hoping for something more dramatic. Why were you called the Punisher? Playing basketball on West 4th Street. The woman who called you, what time did she book you for? Midnight, Trump Tower, Central Park West, striptease for a small group of friends.
For some reason, I don't believe that's why he's called the Punisher.
Right, I don't either.
I doubt it.
When you got there, how did Miss Ventura appear? In a bathroom with nothing underneath and a wig. I was expecting a crowd, but there was no one else. She told me she and her husband wanted to create an S scene with baby oil. All right, so the Punisher shows up, probably with his music. 2012, maybe he's got his little beat. What do they call those? What is this? What
Beats by Dre.
What were those big radios? Big beatbox? No, they weren't beatboxes.
Boombox.
Boombox. Walked in with this boombox. He's ready to put it on the stand there and play it. And all of a sudden, it's just Cassie there. Talking about my husband, probably over there in the corner behind the curtain. This is getting good. All right, let's see.
All these people are just waiting for somebody to say that they were like fucking Diddy. Keep in mind, everybody, at every mention of a free calls, the only person not having any sex is Diddy. He's flaccid because when there's other men around, he can't get erect. These men are there for Cassie's pleasure, not his. Or he'd be walking around with a raging boner from just looking at all these naked, oiled up men and trying to smash something, but he's not. At no testimony at all has Diddy been having sex with anyone at any of the free calls. The only time he's ever allegedly had any sex is when he was one-on-one with the woman he's in a relationship with until he was in another relationship with somebody else. And that's why this is so telling and beautiful. It just depends on if you're going to look at the facts or not.
He's talking about a freak. Maybe he only went one time. If he did only go one time, how did Cassie remember him? Just like that, she said Punisher when she was shown some pictures, I think.
She was attracted to him. He left a good memory, something about her. She wanted him just like she wanted all these other men and cheating on them with other men. Cassie has an appetite and she's going to eat one of two ways, with you or without you. And Diddy tried to make sure she ate with him. He tried his hardest and it was never enough. There's no making these women happy anymore. Nothing's ever good enough. You can marry one and get her pregnant at your own risk.
Because she knew like she had nothing. Could that be possible?
I don't know. And I honestly don't know their financial arrangement at the time they were together. I would imagine that if she's not using her credit cards, then she's probably from him or something. But that's all part of the control for sure.
She had a record deal worth $1 million. She didn't need Diddy for money. Her parents had access to her funds. She had access to funds. She was a spoiled, well-kept woman who was dating a billionaire. They were not poor. She was not poor. He didn't starve her and feed her with a short spoon. You guys are just crazy. You guys don't know all of this already? It was ridiculous.
Fall of 2012, he first got a call, told him her name. Cassie said her name was Janet. She said it was for her birthday, and her husband said she could hire an exotic dancer. They found him through his website. He said he met Diddy and Cassie at the Trump Hotel for the first time. He said he believed he was going there to provide a 30 or 45-minute striptease dance for a small group. And ended up getting just doused in baby oil. For weeks, couldn't get out of it. All right, that was the last tweet. We didn't get anything else yet. Let me bring somebody up. Our travel journey, come on up. Alethea, thank you. Sherry, A. Crow, you wish you could. Ocean Baby, Elaine, D. Thomas, and Bernie, thank you guys. BB, you want to come up? Let's see what Diddy's lawyers are going to do to the Punisher. BB? No. All right. BB, are you there? You want to come up? I'll drop you down. Motivate fiercely. All right, refresh.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Oh, hi. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, great.
Yes.
Yeah. So, this is really informative, but my question is, like, I mean, we're going into details about him and his relationship and things of that sort and what they did sexually. I mean, I just feel like we're not getting to the meat of it. I know it's still early in the trial. However, I mean, what about the rumors? I mean, and quote unquote, they could just be rumors with blood on his hands as far as being responsible for Tupac's death or Biggie's death or even his girlfriend who had his twins. Like those, to me, those are the real issues here. So I'm just curious. Like I said, I know it's still early in the trial, so I was wondering, do you think there's a possibility that they will address some of those issues?
I'm sure they won't, because he's not charged with any of those things that you just mentioned. So that would be highly
bingo.
For that to be, his lawyers would never allow something like that to come in. It would be extremely prejudicial if somebody got on their stand and say, well, I know he unalived Tupac, or I know he unalived Biggie. That's a prior bad act. That falls under something called 404B evidence, and the judge is not allowing any of that stuff in. So if you're looking for people to accuse Diddy of being responsible for anybody's death or unaliving, it's not going to come out in this trial.
Got it. Yeah, I wasn't looking for it. I was just more curious about it because now it just seemed like it's just basically a sex scandal,
right?
In my opinion. Okay, great. Okay, I love your show. I love what you do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks,
Okay,
Motivate.
bye-bye.
Appreciate you.
Bye.
Yeah, it's just a sex scandal, and he's not charged with a sex scandal. He's charged with racketeering and trafficking and racketeering. This is just a sex scandal. There is nothing. He's like, well, what about? Let's be real. He's not charged with anybody's death. If there was a connection, they would have made it already. The government wants this man gone. If they had anything else more, they would have put it on him. No Diddy, but they don't. So here we are. You know, actually, my show is entertaining. She talked about this guy's show. I just don't like being on TikTok because you have to use all these weird words and they delete your account for anything. I shared a video about families should stay together and they banned my account. So they don't like long form conversations where you're not just a liberal talking about gay stuff all day. If you're talking about anything of any consequence, then they will ban you. And I guess that's me for the most part. I'm not perfect, but yeah.
This is good stuff, man. Electric candles, bowls of water with bottles of baby oil, like in the bowls of water. Like what? That's like a decoration or something. Like what would they put? You can order something from room service and they might bring it up like with something inside, to present it nicely. He's presenting the baby oil like that in bowls of water.
Baby oil is not illegal. What is it called? A oil-based substance. It's not illegal to have baby oil. It's not immoral. It's not wrong to rub baby. If you have a really pretty girlfriend with a bad body, to see her with baby oil glistening is sexy. It's hot. There's nothing wrong with that. I don't know why people keep bringing up baby oil. He has good-looking ass women with nice bodies. Of course, he can rub baby oil on them. What they want to hear is that he was rubbing baby oil on these stripper men's cheeks. But these male escorts are not gay either. He didn't ever hire one gay male escort because there's not gay sex for him. That's why no one ejaculated on Diddy's chest. She had to go rub it on his chest from her to try to pretend like he's involved in the threesome, and he's not. He's doing this for you, baby.
Lunch break right now. We're going to come back at 10:30, maybe earlier, maybe 10:15. So either 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to be back on. They're going for lunch right now. And when we come back, the Punisher is still going to be there. He's seen them. He participated in about 8 to 12 freak-offs with them. Interesting stuff. All right, let me thank my wonderful mods, Ash, Nally, Royalty, Susan, and Poor High, and all 3,700 people in here. Thank you guys so much for being here. We'll be back in 45 minutes to an hour. The Punisher will be back on the stand. Don't eat too much between now and then because you don't know what we're going to hear. Have a good afternoon. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in 45 minutes to an hour. Bye, guys.
All right, so this guy's taking a break. We're going to go over to, let's see here. Diddy trial. Let's see who else is talking about it today. I want to see somebody live. I want to see somebody that's actually talking about it. I think Academics is talking right now. Is he talking right now? Let's see here. Who has Diddy trial? Oh, they're outside the courthouse right here. Okay, this is the courthouse. They're outside of there. Let's see here.
And whatever, like, sometimes women get in their mind about, well, the guy, he wants this, so I'm going to give him this, and if I give him this, I become the person he wants. It seems like that's what it was. And I think that's what Diddy wanted to some extent, but he didn't want that for marriage. I think the biggest problem here, and this is what I'm saying, I don't know if it's manipulation. It's like, he might have ran some game on her, but bro, at the end of the day, bro, he gave you clear signals. Yo, I got a family over here. I'm going to bring my baby mama, Kim Porter, even though I left her supposedly for you. I'm going to bring her on vacation. I'm going to go with my kids. I'm going to spend family time. And you're going to sit there alone and you're going to watch me. You're going to watch online with me and my kids. He was telling you.
We've just talked about. What do you think the defense's expert is going to say?
I think the defense expert is going to say that at the end of the day, she had free will, that she had autonomy and independence, and that she could have walked away. I think that's what they're going to say. I think they're going to, if they're smart, acknowledge the fact that these phenomena exist, but that in this particular case, this went on for years, and she could have walked away. I think
that's a good-looking couple right there. She couldn't replace Diddy. She can smash other men. If only Diddy wasn't so normal. It's normal for a man to be jealous and possessive over his beautiful woman. It's abnormal if you don't care that she's out there having sex behind your back. Diddy was just a normal guy. And she was trying to replace Diddy. She couldn't. And every time he would literally go to bat and he would want to stop men from being with her. But once she reached her mid to late 30s and she hit that wall, even though she was still beautiful, there are younger, prettier women out there that he could be with, and he had his choice. Eventually, she got with a man that he didn't want to go fight the man for her. She thought that toxicity was sexy. She thought Diddy running up on Ryan Leslie, running up on Michael B. Jordan, running up on Kid Cudi, fighting Drake, that was sexy. She was in her 20s. She was young and beautiful. Once she gets older, it doesn't really make as much sense for you to be willing to fight and crash out when you can just say, you know what? The next man you cheat with, Cassie, can have you. The next man you cheat with can keep you. And even when she got with the next man that he said, okay, I'm out of it, she still double backed and was smashing him sexually behind Alex Fine's back. Alex Fine called her on FaceTime. He knew she was cheating. He still married her. Not because he loved her, but because he knew that that payday was pending in the future. He played the long game. He did this. He did the right thing, Alex Fine.
And maybe strike a little bit at that therapy to recall memories. I would imagine, maybe.
Yep, to try to undermine it. Correct.
Battle of the experts. Once again, look, I think that this is a very, very important issue in this case. And I've said it before, I'll say it again. You can make the argument that this case rises and falls based on the testimony of Cassie. So this, to me, feels like a central issue. I'm happy we had a chance to talk a little bit more about it. Again, for anybody who's watching this, and I was putting these questions.
Yeah, I think they're doing breaks, maybe not lunch, because really, this is a 6-hour day, 9 to 3, right? How did it end? She went to another room with him. Okay, so basically, so he says she went into another room with him. When she came back, she asked if I wanted to finish. I said no. If they were happy, I was happy. She gave me more money. Did you do it again? Yes, 8 to 12 times. So it looked like that time he didn't come. But this was in 2012, people. 2012, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, right? 2012, right? Punisher. Oh, we didn't get a year?
I'm not even the Punisher. I'm barely the Reconator.
We didn't get a year.
I'm barely the Reconator, and there's no way I can remember if I came or not during sex 13 fucking years ago. And I'm not even a stripper. You would think I was a stripper. Most people, they see me and they immediately think stripper, right? But no, I'm not a stripper. But I could not even remember if I came or not 13 years ago. Like, this is ridiculous. And then what does any of this have to do with racketeering or sex trafficking? The girlfriend you said I'm trafficking just told you she's paying for dick. She's paying for penis. She's buying dick. Why? If she's buying dick, how is she being trafficked? Or is she trapped? Like, who the fuck is trafficking? And where's the rackets? I'm thinking tennis, right? But that's not what racketeering is. It's something else. It means the proceeds generated from illegal activities are being used to further some. What are they furthering? He's already a billionaire. Where is she being trafficked if she's paying for dick from a man named after the guy who literally goes around the city killing people because his wife and his kids got killed? The Punisher, which I love the Punisher story. But this guy is talking about punishing vagina. He didn't punish Diddy's butthole. Diddy didn't punish his butthole. And she fucking just said, I went in the other room with Diddy. That means Diddy wasn't in the room with them. So he's not forcing her. She's having sex. She wanted to. She's doing it with the guy. Diddy's in the other room, sad, but he can't let her see him break. He don't want her to know because he's going to come off as insecure, and he's thinking down the line he might want her to do something freaky for him, like with another girl. But her fantasy is men. His fantasy is women. How do you know that, Rico? Well, the man did not come in there and nut on Diddy's chest. She rubbed it out of herself on his chest. Logistically, it doesn't make any sense. It'd be more efficient if he just delivered the semen to Diddy himself. But instead, he went through an intermediary. Why? Because Diddy's not in the men. Diddy didn't even want her to rub it on his nipples. She rubbed it on there because that's what she thinks is kinky. What are y'all not understanding? It's Cassie. It's her. It's not him. I've had Cassies in my life. I've had girlfriends that would be like, Rico, call 4 or 5 of your friends over right now. I said, baby, I don't know 5 niggas that can come over and fuck right now. Who do you think I am? Do I look like do I seem like I'm in the Wu-Tang Clan? Do I seem like a motherfucking, do I play for the Bulls? Where am I going to get 5 niggas from? I don't know 5 guys to come over and smash you. I would have to do what Diddy, I would have to do what Cassie did. I would have to get on Craigslist, Backpage, Angels for Cowboys. I would have to literally try to find men to come over. Hopefully they don't recognize me. And they're like, wait a minute, I'm fucking this girl. Like they're doing to Diddy right now, man. How am I not the only one? What the hell is happening? Does nobody else understand what the fuck's going on? It's not Diddy, it's Cassie.
Okay, the judge did break. So it is lunchtime now. Okay. Chat, we're getting through this. We're getting through this. You know, I'm trying to give as many voices as possible. I would love, you know, to get a woman on stream because, you know, I'm a man at the end of the day. I'm a man. So, like, when I read messages, I read it from a man perspective. I run game on hoes too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, sex trafficking.
We've all ran game on women, but that's not sex trafficking because game today might have been how you really felt yesterday. You know how many times I done been out somewhere like at a club or a restaurant? I see a woman that looks so good. And in my head, I'm like, I'm going to marry her. And then I look at her friend and I'm like, I'm going to marry her. And then I see her sister walk up and I'm like, I want to marry her. And it's 3. I've said this to myself 3. And honestly, I might tell them that individually, right? We end up hooking up. Now that I have, you know, some clarity afterwards and I realize, damn, I'm still in a relationship. I kind of can't marry these women. That's not really game. It's kind of like, you know, you're in a different mindset. You changed your mind. Is changing my mind sex trafficking now? What are we talking about here? That's not trafficking.
We just like, yo, if it's like, I don't tell chicks I want to have them to have my baby. Unless like I legitimately thought that that's a thing. Because I know that's like some shit. A bitch will end up killing you for that. But you know how men text. You know what I mean? Like you got a couple other girls, you might be gassing her up a little bit. I'm looking at this, you know, obviously Diddy had a control problem, anger problem, definitely violent. He definitely felt like he was way more important than anybody else. But I do also see a woman who was in love with the lifestyle and probably was wondering how she fit in. Remember, all the moguls are with other stars. You're seeing the Beyoncés of the world. She's with Jay-Z. You're this woman who your music career is stalled. How do you keep being important to the guy who is always important? And I think for her, she was just like, well, I'm going to be the person who we get high together. Now, is it fair to say Diddy introduced her to a lifestyle that got her addicted to drugs and he's to be blamed for that? I don't know. Maybe that is fair, right? But maybe it's not. She's a grown adult. It's not like he took her from 19 and even then she's an adult. It's not like he took her from 16 and said, hey, let me introduce you to all these drugs. And then she becomes like this zombie that's off drugs all the time that we could kind of trace blame it to Diddy to say, yo, you got her hooked in all this shit, man. And this shit fucked up her life. The more I look at this Cassie situation, there was a woman looking for love. You could say anything. Oh, maybe it's how Diddy talked to her, treated her, how he fucked her, how whatever. She wanted him. Not to bring it up, but I have to. There's billions of men on this earth. Could it be it was just Diddy's personality and charm? Or could it be like some of the lifestyle she was experiencing? Private jets. She was moving around like she was the queen. Her friends seemed envious of the lifestyle she lived. And she was smart enough that when they tried to talk her out of leaving it, she would say, nah, I'm good. She would tell Kerry Morgan, nah, I'm not getting out of this. The assistant, when she said, yo, this is crazy, he says, yo, you know you could leave. She says, nah, I'm good. It felt like there were multiple times that she could have left. Now, you might say this is manipulation, this and third, but then I bring in this other point. I wonder if because of Diddy's wealth and status, that hurts him. Because I don't think love is anything that's secluded to the rich and famous. But it's almost like Diddy is getting penalized because his wealth and lifestyle that this woman wanted. She not only wanted him, she wanted the wealth, the lifestyle. She wanted the cars. She wanted to be going to Ibiza. She wanted to be living this really luxurious lifestyle. Now that gets weaponized against Diddy because supposedly you are using it over her head. At no point did she say, let me go date a nigga from Walmart. At no point. At no point. So now the things that attracted her to you then get used or looked at like you're holding it over her head. Like she's entitled. She's entitled to be flying on private jets. She had 3 apartments, 1 house, 2 apartments, driving a Jaguar. She had the driver waiting on her all day while she was doing all type of fuck shit. She's not even thinking about who paid it. Diddy's paying for it. Because if she acted up or whatever, they got in an argument, Diddy would remove those luxuries from her. That now become, oh, you're holding over her head. Oh, now because you can't live in my mansion and drive in my Rolls Royce. Oh, I'm holding over your head. But if you get with a regular guy, he don't got all that. So it's impossible. He don't even have the chance to hold it over your head. So now Diddy's wealth gets weaponized against him because you're coercing her by financially. Well, I could understand if it's like you're going to be homeless. This woman clearly was never going to be homeless. She went home to her parents multiple times in Connecticut. She was never going to be homeless. She wanted the private jet. She wanted the security. She wanted the chief of staffs and maids and personal assistants. She wanted to be jet setting Miami, Jamaica, LA, Ibiza. She wanted that. So if you deprive her of luxury, you're financially manipulating her. It's one thing if he's like, yo, if you don't do this, you're going to be sleeping on the street. You have nowhere to go. I have all your money in my bank account. She even says to him, I just want your love. I could pay this shit myself. I could pay for stuff myself. Now, granted, it's levels to the shit because Diddy's a different level. But here's the thing. It's not like this woman, when I think of financial manipulation or coercion, it's like, yo, if I don't pay for you, you're going to be on the streets. This woman was never about to be homeless. Listen, God forbid she had to not drive a Jaguar and drive a Honda. God forbid she couldn't go to Ibiza on the drop of a dime, and maybe she couldn't fly first class. She had to be the middle row in the back of the plane. God forbid she couldn't get the villa that cost 10 grand a night, and she probably had to go to the motherfucking Hyatt. Nothing wrong with the Hyatt. I like the Hyatt. God forbid that these luxuries were not there, and she would have to live a regular life. So because she was chasing opulence, she was chasing this grandiose lifestyle. If she didn't get it, or if she felt it was being taken from her, and she was willing to do things that it don't get taken from her, now you're manipulating her. You're holding it over her head. It's crazy times we live in. Now, I do understand that's not the only reason why they say this is sex trafficking. It's a lot of violence. I think no one could defend what Diddy's doing with violence. The shit Diddy was doing violently is disgusting. But I do believe we have to understand that this is a very complicated situation that I think some people are just trying to say is cut and dry. Diddy sex trafficked. Wait, it's very nuanced. This was a woman chasing love. Diddy was chasing his homoerotic freaks, kinks and freak-offs. They bonded on their needs and how each other could help their needs. It's like 2 addicts linking up. Anyway, it is lunchtime.
Omega forever. William,
we got some action here. Here we go.
Serena, I'll start with you. What's the theme from today?
Well, it's kind of what you alluded to, Jesse, which is we're now developing the RICO side of things. We heard obviously from Cassie about all of the sexual and domestic abuse that she had to endure. And now we're opening this up layer by layer into the inner workings of this organization. And so we're learning who else was involved and what their roles were. So I think the theme essentially is we're building this foundation for the prosecution to eventually argue these are all the players in this organization, and this is why it made up a criminal enterprise.
Well, that kind of goes into one of the questions we got here from Alpha and Omega Forever. William, I'll throw this to you. When do you think the trial will get into the evidence and details that makes this a RICO case? Who else significant will have to appear in court? And will Diddy rat out who ratted him out? A lot of questions there, a lot of different elements. But let's take it piece by piece. So I agree. I think that there has been testimony so far in the past week and a half to suggest transportation to engage in prostitution, people being transported for purposes of prostitution, intent of prostitution. I think there's evidence that's been submitted for sex trafficking, force, fraud, coercion, commercial sex acts, racketeering, right? Criminal enterprise, underlying crimes, people who have he conspired with to further criminal activity. I mean, do you think that there's enough here? Who else do they need to call?
Well, I think they've already started. I think that by calling Diddy's assistant to the stand and by asking him questions about what he did, what his role was, I think that's clear that they're beginning to lay the foundation. And Kathy's testimony itself also had to deal with the racketeering. So to directly answer the question, I think we're already there. Racketeering is a challenging charge. I think that it's a tough charge in this particular case. But by setting forth who was in the room, how did people get from places from point A to point B? James testified as to how he would set up the rooms and the hotel rooms. And then obviously now we're getting into the Punisher's testimony and the like. I think we're there.
By the way, we have polls up on Law and Crimes YouTube as well. We have a poll up right now. Do you believe David James' testimony helps or hurts Diddy's defense? Really, that's an interesting question here.
I don't think it matters.
Because there were elements to it, Serena, right? Where he said he didn't observe the violence, right? He didn't observe.
Look, I'm going to go ahead and be honest. These people, should have sore arms, or their rotator cuffs should be going bad from all the fucking reaching they're doing. At no point in Cassie's testimony or anybody else's testimony was there anything about Diddy driving them around for them to sell dick and pussy. There was nothing about that. These are grown-ass men and grown-ass women who have their own taxis. They're in New York, they're in LA, they have their own cars. Why are you trying to say, well, maybe he trafficked them, maybe he gave somebody a ride for prostitution? Bro, the reaching is fucking pathetic. Was he driving these people around, selling their pussy and vagina, selling their dick and vagina for money? Was he pimping them out? The answer is no. He's a billionaire. Did he pay people to come over and put on a show? Did he record it? Doing porn is not illegal. If that's going to be the case, when are they going to shut down all the porn studios? When is Bang Bus going to get raided? When is Bang Bros going to get raided? When is the Gang Bang Cream Pop? When are they going to start tearing up all these porn agencies? Because why is it a problem when Diddy does it, but it's not a problem when anybody else does it? It doesn't make sense. None of the stuff they're saying matters at all. I'm listening to these people talk, and I'm like, they're not even talking about shit. Pretending, well, maybe he gave somebody a ride back in 2015, or maybe in 2011, he drove her, and she said they went to dinner, and then afterwards they went to his house. So how did they get there? That's not him sex trafficking her. That's his girlfriend. You can take her to dinner and fuck her after. It's kind of what's the whole purpose of having a girlfriend. That's not racketeering. Bro, these people are apparently working the law field. They don't know the definition of fucking racketeering. Look, let's look it up. Let's go. Let's ask ChatGPT. Let's say here. Dear, where in the Diddy trial so far has there been any evidence of racketeering or sex trafficking or transportation by Diddy for prostitution? Let's see what the computer tells me, because maybe there's something I missed, because I didn't catch any of that. Let's see what the AI says. Testimonies. Cassie. Okay. Cassie Ventura, former partner, testified enduring years of abuse. That has nothing to do with, okay, pre-call, nothing to do. Danity Kane, abuse. Where the fuck is the racketeering and sex trafficking? Physical evidence. Baby oil, lubricant, pink drugs. For free. Okay, freak offs are not okay. God damn it, computer. Freak offs are not illegal. He is not on trial for drugs and domestic violence. Talk to me about him, about Diddy racketeering in racketeering based on testimony only, and only sex trafficking. God damn, I gotta give the computer the instructions. Like, okay, let's get it clear and stick to the facts. Testimony only. Do not spin or media travel away. Charges on the table. That's it. Bruh, this is crazy. No direct testimony proving sex trafficking or racketeering yet. This is not RICO. This is the AI. Are you watching this on YouTube? Are you watching this on Twitter? Are you watching this on Facebook? Are you watching this on Kick? Talk to me. I've been telling you guys this for months. There's nothing here. No, this is already 2 weeks in. There's 2 weeks left. There should have been fucking evidence from day one of sex trafficking and racketeering and prostitution for this to even begin. Why is it 2 weeks in? Why are we depending on a bunch of male escorts to there's nothing there yet. To prove sex trafficking under federal law, prosecutors must show recruitment, harboring, or transport for the purpose of commercial sex acts through force, fraud, and coercion. What has been testified? Cassie said she participated in freak-offs, was pressured or manipulated emotionally. That's not meeting the standard of what is sex trafficking. She never claimed Diddy forced her across state lines for prostitution or commercial sex. Then who the fuck is he trafficking? She never claimed she was sold or pimped out for profit. Escort participation was voluntary and paid directly, not trafficked victims, not arranged by Diddy with force or fraud. That's not sex trafficking. That's just immoral. Sure, but it's not illegal. It might be immoral, but it's not illegal. This whole goddamn world is immoral. The country's immoral. Porn is immoral. Oh, what's up, Shan? What's up, Shannon? Shannon, this is his whole Diddy trial. I don't know why StreamYard's not letting me share my screen, but I'm reading the charges about this whole Diddy situation. According to the AI, there is no direct testimony proving sex trafficking or racketeering yet. None. There's no him transporting her across state lines for commercial sex. There's no force, fraud, or coercion. She participated in freak-offs willingly. This is according to the AI. So let's go down to the RICO. Let's go down to RICO. My name. Let's go down to my name. Let's go look at what they racketeering RICO. Let's go see what the RICO is talking about. There must be a criminal enterprise. How the fuck is there a RICO when there's only one? Bruh, how is there a RICO when there's only one person? So Diddy was in a RICO by, bro, do you know how insane it is if your criminal enterprise only has one person? Your criminal enterprise, your criminal network is one. That's like somebody calling themselves an influencer and they have one follower and it's your mom. Or it's you from a Finsta page following yourself. You're not an influencer. You're not influencing anybody. You only have one follower and it's you. Who is Diddy in a criminal enterprise with? He is the only person in the criminal enterprise. There is no criminal enterprise. Number 2, engaged in a pattern of racketeering activity, which is extortion, trafficking, obstruction. None of that has happened. What has been testified against? Well, David James, his assistant, said Diddy made him buy items like baby oil and prep the rooms. How the fuck is that racketeering? How is that racketeering? How is baby oil? How much baby oil is so much baby oil that you're now considered to be a part of a RICO? God damn it. Why are they wasting everybody's time? Bruh, when Diddy gets out, I'm going to have to play him these videos. And I mean, because maybe people need an interpreter to translate the world to other people. It seems like even though we all speak English, we don't understand it the same. We can't even communicate with each other. This should have never even came to the first place. There's no test. Okay, this is also the AI told Rico. The AI told me myself, not part of the RICO charges. But it's in regard to the racketeering. No testimony that Diddy ran an organized crime network or directed employees to commit crimes to further an enterprise. Then there's no RICO. No testimony. Okay, no witnesses said Diddy profited from trafficking women. No RICO. No connection to other illegal enterprises such as drug, violence, prostitution rings that meet RICO criteria. That's not racketeering enterprise. That's celebrity freak behavior, not mafia. Summary based on testimony. Sex trafficking, no proof of commercial sex acts via force or coercion, not proven. Escorts, not trafficked. Racketeering, no enterprise, no coordinated criminal operation described. Bottom line, there is no testimony so far that shows Diddy trafficked anyone for sex or operated a criminal enterprise in violation of the RICO Act. The salacious details make headlines, but they do not meet the federal legal standards. This case was over before it began. It should have never got to this point. It should have never, ever, ever got to this point. Let me post this on the Facebooks. Let's see here. Paste. And voila. Voila. This is the computer. This isn't even me. I said freak offs are not illegal. I had to check the goddamn computer because they're giving me all this other nonsense that is not answering my question. Where in the Diddy trial so far has there been any evidence of racketeering or sex trafficking or transportation for Diddy for prostitution? Zero. Now, the whole trial, remember, Cassie's really the only victim here. If he was doing something illegal, Cassie would have said it and she would have known about it. Yeah, he takes girls across state lines all the time and he sells pussy. He's out here just slanging pussy. He has a vending machine. He's basically a direct distributor of pussy. You call Diddy, he shows up, baby oil, dances for you, Harlem shakes and all that shit, and just drops off bitches. You need some dick? Diddy drops off dick too. He delivers men, women. Where all the rumors say children too. So 5 and up, he dropping them off with you. But yet there's no proof of that. And anybody's been around him for the past 20 years, not one of these people mentioned him fucking Usher. Because Cassie talked about how she got peed in her mouth. So that means she swallowed urine. There's no universe she's in where she'll talk about her swallowing urine, but she wouldn't talk about Diddy rearranging poor little Bieber's intestinal tract, or taking Usher and grabbing him by his smooth hairline and making him, you know, the thing that they be doing with, I don't even want to talk, no Diddy, but with the cherries at the Usher shit. I don't want to talk about, okay. The point is, right, none of that happened. None of it. It's all just projection. It's make-believe. What'd you say, Shannon? It's chaotic case. It's not even that chaotic. It's sex. It's sex. What's so chaotic about fucking? Shan, you've been around me. You know what I like, right? Would you call being with me chaotic? We fuck girls. We party. We get drunk. We get high. Like, is that chaotic? No, it's fun. What's chaotic is the fact that dragging this man through a trial and denied his bond when he offered to put up $50 million. They raided his house for videos that were on Cassie's phones. So he didn't even have I thought he had a surveillance network where he had cameras in every room. He's recording everybody have sex. Why is none of that being talked about in this case and we're 2 weeks in? Cassie never said, yeah, he's have secret recordings. This was his woman. This was his main squeeze. She would have known about any and everything that was going on with Diddy. If he was trafficking minors, if he was videotaping politicians having sex, he was doing everything but that. But nothing he was doing was illegal. Dragging him in this trial where he has no access to hair coloring products, it's just diabolical. Forcing him to relive all the times that he had to listen to his ex-girlfriend getting her shit pushed in by random beefcakes is probably traumatizing for him. It was obviously traumatizing for him then because they kept talking about his dick would never get hard when it was other men around, but only when it was just him and her because he wanted to be in love. When he was with his woman, his dick worked just fine. He's in his 40s at the time. He's not like, he's not an 80-year-old man. So he's not erect. He doesn't have erectile dysfunction. That's not what the issue is. And he wants to just watch men have sex with his woman to get off. His woman wanted to have sex with other men to get off. And he was trying to curve her to stop her from cheating on him every goddamn day. And then eventually he realized there is no stopping her from cheating. She's into men. She's into multiple men. Alex Fine couldn't stop her from cheating. Diddy couldn't stop her from cheating. It wasn't about men. She went from a man that had everything to a man that's poor. She cheated on both equally. She equally cheated on the rich man and the poor personal trainer. They both got cheated on exactly the same. You can't make women happy. Why do you think Rico's not married? I wear a wedding band because I like people thinking that I'm married, except I don't have to worry about somebody walking in my room right now telling me about something that I did wrong, having an attitude. And then when I ask her what she wants to eat, she doesn't fucking know. I did my time. I spent 12 years doing serious relationships. That's prison time. I call it doing time. I did my time in relationships, thinking I had to take care of a woman, take care of her family, make sure she's happy, make sure she's fed, make sure she has clothes, make sure I take her out, make sure she knows dude, that shit is pointless. They get mad, they leave, you get another one. They get mad, they leave, you get another one. And then they're just bouncing around from men to men. But now they're getting smarter where they're like, I need to find men that I can sue. So if you can't get her pregnant, so she can't sue you for child support, and you won't marry her, so she can't sue you for alimony, well, now she has to accuse you of abuse, even when there is no abuse. Look at what's happening with everybody. Look at DDG right now. Look at what's going on with Diddy. Look what happened with Megan. Look what happened with all these fucking black women, some white women, but not that many. Shannon Sharp's only one example. I can't think of any other ones. Tiger Woods was sued by his ex-girlfriend because he wouldn't get her pregnant. He wouldn't marry her. And he sent her on vacation. And when she came back, he done moved out and the locks were changed. She's suing him because he kicked her out throughout the lawsuit. Jenny Mae, Big Jeezy, his Asian baby mama. He broke up with her over the phone, told he had his assistants there at the house and movers to pack up all her shit. She's trying to beg the police to let her back in the house. For what? All your shit's in the boxes. You got money, go buy some new shit if it ain't there. But men are being smart nowadays. What we're doing now, right, is we're breaking up with women at a distance. My ex-girlfriend wouldn't move out of my house. So you know what I did? I moved out. I didn't argue with her and fight with her and all that. I moved to another state and I never went home. She had to figure it the fuck out. She had to figure it out. I'm not I'm not arguing with women anymore. Look at Lil Wayne. The girl said he broke up with me via text on Mother's Day. Her and her daughter, that's by another man. It's not his responsibility to take care of your whole family. It's not my responsibility to take care of your whole family. You got to take care of yourself. So now these women are like, well, I need to sue you because you wasted my youth and wasted my time. Baby, those aren't charges. Diddy broke up with Cassie for a younger woman. Actually, he didn't break up with her. He didn't chase her no more because he has a new woman that's younger, and he let this old bitch go. That's not illegal. Letting a woman go because she gets old is not trafficking, and you can't go back in your past and say, well, I actually want to retract my consent from 20 years ago because I'm mad that he doesn't want to be with me today, and he's giving this other young girl a show and money, everything he was supposed to give me. You can't call that trafficking, and you can't call this a RICO. It doesn't make any sense at all. Shannon, you don't gotta. Shannon, you're funny as hell. What's up, Mexican E? What's cracking? Yeah, no, E. Listen, bro, this can be any of us. It can be any of us one day, you know. And you don't got to be a famous man on TV, rich. She just has to be broke. And as we know, Mexican E being from California, all the baddest bitches are the brokest bitches ever. So she can just accuse you of something. There's no way for you to prove you didn't do it unless you do the RICO, which is, well, me RICO, which is I record everything. You know, it's crazy. My other partners called me yesterday, and in the Diddy trial, another dude that we all know back in LA, his name came up in the trial. They were like, yeah, Rico. They said his name, and, you know, that's your boy. I'm like, that's your boy, too. It's not just my boy. That's our boy that they brought up in the Diddy trial. A dude from LA that we all know. And he's like, man, that's your boy. They brought him up in the trial today. And I'm like, nigga, that's our boy. But they were like, yeah, man, you know, hopefully he does the RICO. And I was like, what is that? And they were like, you know how you record everything. You make videos. They laughing about it. Nigga, there's literally a genius behind me doing things the way I do things. Nobody can come back and say, I was trafficked. There's a RICO charge. He was doing this. He was doing that. Oh, I was drunk. I was high. I was tired. Can't nobody make up a story about me. I videotape everything. And I don't do one-on-one with anybody. So you're going to have to explain what these other girls were doing because these other girls were standing there too. So it's not like it's just me and her in a room, you know, and, you know, we have a candlelit dinner. There's roses everywhere. And I'm like, oh, and there's all this hot R&B music and all that shit. Bro, I'm not doing none of that. It's where, and then she leaves my house in an Uber. And I'm like, baby, call me when you get home. She's like, oh, I love you. She gets in the car and she's like, take me to the hospital. And guess what? It's her word versus my word about what happened tonight. I'm not in those situations. I record everything. So it's not my word versus your word. It's your word versus like 5 of our words. And this video right here. You got to tell what happened. Is this doctor? Is this AI or is this you? You know, you got to be smarter about yourself. Shannon Sharp's not going to jail. This is all civil with Shannon, but he records everything too. He records everything. I like things in text. I don't even like talking on the phone because a person can say you said something. There's no proof either way. I like a text message in black and white. You heard what she said to me. She's talking nasty to me. Said she want to do all kind of gross things to me, which is fine. You know, you tell me what you want to. I like it. But you got to make sure there's proof because you never know when these women will switch up. A woman could be in love with you, be in a relationship. You don't even know this other man exists, right? She gets caught cheating and the dude is going to beat her up or break up with her. You know, she says, I didn't actually cheat. I got drugged. Somebody literally laced my sex on the beach. And you're like, well, who? Because the dude ain't a bartender. He don't even got his own place. He had no liquor in his room. Was it the bartender at the club? Or what are you accusing? Now she has to make up a lie. She has to implicate the club, the bar, the hotel, the lobby where the bar is located, men, bartenders, all. Bro, the lies just spread out of control. Next thing you know, you got a RICO case. Then when the police investigate it, they find out that they're lying. They did investigate this. The problem was he's a famous black dude, and they had to at least keep going, even though there's nothing here to begin with. You got to think about it. Look at Young Thug, right? Everybody said the same thing about Young Thug. He's going to prison. He's guilty. I'm like, well, guilty of what? Telling people that they're getting soft because they're letting people live. and wiping his nose and going like this, slatty, slat, 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 slatty, slatty, slat. I liked all that Young Thug shit, but now he's muted. He can't even really rap like he wants to. But everybody was trying to tell me Young Thug did this and that. I'm like, well, where's the proof? You know, that's what I hate about, that's the main thing I hate about society today. Nobody demands proof about something anymore. People just believe anything because they're envious and they're jealous and they want to believe it. They want it to be true. Not that it is, they want it to be. They want you to lose everything because they want you to be back at the bottom with them. They don't want you above them. They don't want to see you with a bunch of girls that they only dream about. They don't want to see you, you know, living somewhere they wish they could live. They want to see you at the bottom with them, poor, not doing anything, incapable of doing anything, with a bunch of excuses, talking about racism, talking about oppression. Man, you can't tell Diddy about no racism and oppression. He tried to play that card. How? You're a fucking billionaire. Shut the fuck up. Where did your racism start? Because doesn't racism mean restrict? What are you restricted from doing? Shit, you out here fucking beautiful girls like Cassie, but everybody's able to fuck her. The homie in the pictures from Long Beach, a dude I know, he apparently fucking her. I thought the nigga was lying years ago when he told me this story. I said, you a lying out. I was like, oh man, that's crazy. As soon as he left, I said, that nigga lying. It turns out, right, I was wrong. He wasn't lying. He really was. He really was fucking Cassie. And then he was in the other room. Like, and it's crazy. You think these people are larger than life, bro? These people are regular motherfuckers. Money don't really make you a different person. You're just a regular guy. You see Diddy on TV shows, you think he has this persona. At the end of the day, he's just an insecure man trying to keep a woman under control so she ain't out here embarrassing him. He meets a girl like Cassie. She comes from a 2-family household. You know, she looks real clean and presentable. A beautiful, perfect, picturesque woman. You want to put her on the shelf and spoil her. Then you find out she likes gangbangs and all types of dick. Oh. And he made a song called Satisfy You. Nigga, you can't satisfy Cassie. 100 dicks. Cassie's like Bonnie Blue. You know Bonnie Blue, right? Go, if you don't know who Bonnie Blue is, go to X right now, right? Go to Twitter. Bonnie Blue is doing gangbangs with 1,000 men under the age of 30, right? And she's breaking records. Pretty, not an old white chick, but she's a little older, but she's real pretty. She's British. If you saw her in a store wearing a regular dress, you would be like, oh, she's beautiful. Never would you ever assume she needs 1,000 a day just to get off. Say you don't notice about her at first, right? And you're like Diddy, and you're with her for a year or two before she starts telling you about her fantasies, right? What are you going to do about her fantasy? What can you possibly do to keep this woman sexually satisfied? Besides just, I wouldn't even use the word allow because you don't own her, but besides just tell her, you know what? I don't mind. I'm still going to love you. I'm still want to kiss you afterwards. Just tell me about it or make me a video. But if you want to go have sex with other men, just don't lie to me and let me see the video and I'm still going to love you. That was Diddy. And Cassie is Bonnie Blue. And you know what? Kitty yelled on for a while. You know how relieved he was when he found out Young Miami just likes girls? Oh, you know how much easier it is to get women to do group sex than it is to get a bunch of men. At least if there's a bunch of naked women around, your dick will work. I never heard Diddy with these girls and it was other girls there and his dick was not working. The dick only turned off when there's other men around. I thought he was gay all these years. The dude's not even gay enough where his dick will work with other naked men in the room. He actually, they keep talking about Diddy was in another room, in the suite, but in another room, trying to jack off. He's trying to get himself into it. He's not even into it, bro. I've been in that situation before. I get it. I understand Diddy's pain. No Diddy, not like pain, whatever, bro. I understand what he's going through. But like I said, the computer is already telling us there is no direct, read it, no direct testimony proving sex trafficking or racketeering yet. I don't know who's going to come in here and say, yeah, man, secretly nobody knows and there's no proof. But, you know, I did drive 15 bitches from New York to Vegas. I had him on the track, you know, and Diddy pulled up in a Cadillac wearing a Pooh Shiesty and started slapping bitches. Pie out, pie out, just beating bitches up all up and down Hollywood Boulevard. And he was dancing, nigga wearing gold and glittery outfits, but he had a shiesty mask on. So nobody knew it was him. But it was really just Diddy out there slapping bitches left and right. I don't think nobody's going to come on trial and testify anything that's going to meet any other criteria that is required for the government to convict you of sex trafficking, prostitution, or a RICO statute. There's nothing anybody can come on here and say, unless they just have a completely different made up testimony. But why would they do that? I mean, everyone seems pretty consistent with this man's behavior, who he is. The only thing you didn't know is that he's just a regular guy. Insecure, jealous, hurt. Not because of his past, but because of his present. You know how embarrassing it is? You think you're a man on the top of the world, and she'll still go fuck a bum. You're a man, you're a billionaire, you're successful, you're strong, and she'll still go fuck the help. She'll fuck the valet, she'll fuck the personal trainer. She'll fuck the dude in the drive-thru at the Wendy's. She'll fuck whoever. And there's nothing you can do about it because you don't own her. You thought because you were rich and famous, with all the clothes in the world, personal designers, she's spoiled out of her mind. You thought that was going to be help. You thought that was going to stop her from fucking. We all did. That's where we all mess up. We all think, man, if I get enough money, right, I can buy her a house, I can buy her a car. She don't got to worry about nothing. She don't got to worry about bills. She gets to stay home, take care of my kids. Man, are you fucking insane? That means she don't got to work. That means while you're working, she's at home with idle hands for 8, 9, 10 hours, watching porn, playing with herself. She doesn't have kids. These women ain't having kids no more. You can't even get pregnant no more nowadays, these women. So they're sitting at this big ass house that you're paying for. You're gone all day, but you don't want her to fuck the gardener. You don't want her to fuck the pool boy. You don't want her. Well, then what do you expect her to do? The way she got with you was because she's really good looking and you wanted to fuck her. She understands her number one value is sex, being pretty, being sexually attractive. You want her just to waste it away, sitting in the house waiting on you to come home for work every day like some kind of lapdog? Of course she's not. She gonna fuck. So I'm in Austin. I'm in Houston right now, right? But I was in Austin for I had some business stuff to do on the weekend. So Sunday night, I'm in Austin, and we meet these women, you know, and they're like, I think they're turning like 30, right? And it's 3 of them. One's like black mixed with like Arab, and it was like one was like Spanish, one was like white and Spanish. They all got husbands and boyfriends at home. All of them. They couldn't wait to cheat. They couldn't wait. And I'm asking her little questions like, so, you know, you got a man at home? She was like, all of us pretty women got a man at home. We all do. Aren't we supposed to? I'm like, well, what does he think you're doing? She's like, well, you know, it's a girls' night. You know, we wanted to come out with the girls and say, yeah, but you guys are out talking to men. Why didn't you just bring your man with you? Like that doesn't coming out with the girls to get away from men, but being in men's faces doesn't have to defeat the purpose of a girls' night, because there's still men involved. It's just not the men in your life. This is not your man, right? It's like different men, new dick. And she's like, yeah, we're out to meet men so we can fuck and we're gonna go home. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, look, let's go to a strip club real quick. She was like, yeah, last time we went, she got in trouble. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, we didn't get home till 8 a.m. And I was like, is he still with you? She said, yes. You know, I feel bad for these men. You might think these men are happy because they got women that come home, but what cost? Other men have access to them, can fuck them. You're just footing the bill. You think they asked us? You think they asked us for gas money? No, they came to the room. Was there any trafficking? No, they drove themselves. What trafficking? Not at all. Yo, what's up, Rocky? What's good with it? Hold on, let me we're gonna, actually they're coming back from break. Let's restart it. I'll be right back.